All right, so let's dive into the top 3 tools that you need to get started with your online business today, okay? So all of these are going to be completely free or very inexpensive, but I highly recommend that you get started with these 3 things first. Now, if you've heard me talk about starting your online business before, you've heard me say that you don't need to worry about things like a website and logo, branding. All of that can get really expensive really, really quickly. These tools are actually going to help you run your business and keep everything running smoothly for you, and it's not going to break the bank. All right, so let's dive in with the very first one. You need to have a way for people to pay you. There are a lot of different options. You can look at PayPal, Stripe, and Square. Those are all going to have fees that they're going to take out for those transactions, but they don't require you to pay to actually make transactions. So there's not like a monthly, like $10 or $15. Some of the systems that I've talked about in the past have been really great for sending invoices and also integrating with these payment systems. But that's something that once you start getting some clients and you're getting some income, then you can upgrade to keep things organized and just make them look really neat. But in the meantime, I want you to think about which processor would be the best for you. You could do a simple search. I stuck with PayPal just because it's something that I already had set up and it was super easy. You can get the business account, but Square and Stripe are also going to be some really good options. But you want a way for people to pay you, right? You want to be able to transfer that money and get it right into your bank account. So that is tool number 1. You want to make sure that you have a payment processor. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Doesn't have to cost you, $30 a month to use something like Dubsado. If you've heard things like that thrown around, you don't have to jump right in with that. Once you have some income coming in, absolutely. Those are great systems and tools, but let's get started without going into debt, right? Okay, so the next one that I wanted to talk to you about is Calendly. I use Acuity. These are scheduling systems. So these are ways that people can schedule calls with you. Pro tip here, I don't want you just sending your link out to people. If you can, it's much easier for you to say, well, I'm free at these times, and try to go ahead and get people scheduled for those discovery calls right there, like in Facebook Messenger. If they ask you for a link, you want to be ready. Sometimes time zones, and they may want to look at their calendar. Some people prefer a link, but always try to get them to schedule with you first. So I'm going to give you the link for Calendly, just because I know sometimes it's hard to understand what I'm saying. This does have a free option, which is why I'm recommending this one to you, but it does give you the opportunity to send someone a link to your calendar. That way you can schedule those discovery calls, right? All right, so that's the second one. You want a way for people to schedule a call with you and to keep up with all of those meetings and appointments and things that you are scheduling. All right, the next is going to be keeping up with your expenses and your income, because a lot of the questions that I get from people are about like those scary things like taxes and money, and I have a lot of resources for that as well. I have a lot of resources within the Pinternship that will point you in the right direction for getting help with that and answering questions one-on-one. That's one of the really great things about being within that membership. But this is something that I highly recommend that you get started with. Now, this is a paid service. I'm actually going to give you a link to get QuickBooks Self-Employed for 50% off. We'll check out the details on that. I'm pulling it up now because I just thought about it. I wanted to get y'all started with these free tools. Again, this one it's not completely free, but what it's going to do is it's going to allow you to, I'm grabbing the link here. It's going to allow you to track your income and your expenses. That way you can keep up with both of those things for tax purposes. It also gives you an estimate on paying your quarterly taxes. So it's paying 4 times a year so that you're not hit with a big tax bill at the end of the year, because you're going to have the money coming in, right? Okay, so I'm going to give you the link here. Again, it's going to give you, this is a link that is associated with my account. It's going to allow you to get this at 50% off. I highly recommend this. I've been using this since I first started 3 years ago, and it's been amazing. We've had no problem with getting this information to the people that help us with our taxes. It makes it really easy. You can get the app on your phone and really just easily keep up with your income and your expenses and see how much money you're making and have that information for tax purposes. And it's not difficult. It's very user-friendly. You're not going to feel overwhelmed thinking that you need to have like a bookkeeping background to keep up with this. Super, super user-friendly, okay? So those are my top 3 tools. You need a way for people to pay you, so a payment processor like PayPal, Stripe, Square. I'm sure there are several other options. Those are the ones that are free with just having a transaction fee. When people pay you, they take a little bit out of that. The next is you can use Calendly to schedule those discovery calls and other appointments and calls that you have. Calendly does have a free option. It is wonderful. There's no need to pay for any expensive systems when you're first getting started. And the last one, which is a paid feature, is going to be the QuickBooks Self-Employed. Highly recommend it. Dropped you the link for all of that below. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments and I'll come back and answer them for you.